get fat again.
You too, bro.
Cool, yeah. It's the same.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another Strong Believers video. We hope to give you guys some of our experiences and some of our findings regarding university and how to make the most of this university life. We're not going to go into the topic of should you go uni or should you not. One thing I will say though, I think Sangar will probably agree with me, is that only go to uni if you're actually going to make something out of it. If you're actually going to make good use of what you learn in uni, then go to it. Otherwise, there's no point if you're just going to go for just because it's the norm, just because you want to have a little chill out sort of thing. What do you say to that?
I agree, bro.
One of the main aims of this channel is to aim high. We want to inspire people to aim high, and ourselves, that we should be aiming high and we shouldn't be going for the, for the bare minimum. Hence why we wanted to make sort of like a comprehensive video on education and the university for a Muslim. As we know, like in the Quran, in the Sunnah, the stories of the previous prophets, they all aimed high and they all loved to seek knowledge. For example, if we have the story of Khidr and Musa alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, even though Musa alayhi salam was speaking directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah so told him, there's someone who has knowledge that you don't have.
Sure.
And Musa alayhi salam, he actually desired this knowledge so much that he actually traveled for a very long time before he actually found Khidr. And then he went through many different things with Khidr to gain that knowledge and experience and the wisdom that he didn't have himself. So Islamically, we're advised to seek knowledge, and we're advised, whether it's secular knowledge, whether it's dini knowledge. Obviously the barakah and the blessing that you get with Islamic knowledge is way different to just secular knowledge, but both of them are very important to Islam. And if we look at the scholars of the past, they were all educated. They were in both secular sciences and Islamic sciences. Many of them were doctors, and many of them were actually physicians and scientists, and they had both Islamic knowledge and secular knowledge. And to have both of them, you can achieve like great things with it, inshallah. So and if we look at the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was in prison, what got him out of prison? It was his knowledge, right? He was blessed with the knowledge and the wisdom of dream interpretation, and through that he was able to get out of prison. So it was his knowledge that actually benefited him in the end of the day, nothing else. He actually had, subhanAllah, now that I'm thinking of it, he had beauty, right? The Prophet has mentioned that Yusuf alayhi salam, he had half of the world's beauty, but it was his beauty that got him into prison, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And so it's such a fitna, subhanAllah. But what got him out of prison was his knowledge. So knowledge always comes first, and this is something that we should be aiming for, to seek knowledge and to equip ourselves with things that are actually going to make a difference. And if we again look at the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was able to come out of prison, he asked the king, he said, let me be in charge of the storehouses of the land. He wanted to be the minister of the finance minister of Egypt, subhanAllah. He didn't aim for he just came out of prison, and he didn't aim for the lowest thing. He didn't just say, oh, let me be one of your workers. He said, let me be the leader of the storehouses, subhanAllah. He wanted to be in charge. He wanted to be in a lofty position. He said, I believe that with my knowledge I can do like a lot of goodness with it. So likewise, when we study, we should aim to do better for society. And there's nothing more meaningful than equipping yourself with knowledge and tackling the problems of society and the problems of the world for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is what Islam pushes us to do.
To conclude what Noor said, to be successful in this life and hereafter, knowledge is key. If you want to be successful, both in this dunya and the akhirah, then knowledge is key. If you have the knowledge, for example, say you want to become a doctor, and then obviously you go to uni, you study, and then you become a doctor, then you have the knowledge, you acquire the knowledge, you know how to deal with your patients. And if you want to become, similarly, if you want to become successful in the hereafter, you go seek knowledge of the deen. So knowledge is the key to anything, be it in any profession in this life or, as I said, in the akhirah.
And there's nothing more powerful than someone knowing, learning how to sort of articulate themselves, to read, to understand, to educate. All of these things, all of these skills can be actually learned when you're in uni. You have like such a great opportunity in this time, because it's sort of like a few years of your life has been carved out just for studying, and this is the time that you should actually use them most of it, because you don't actually go uni every day. You don't have to go to uni every day. You have classes and you have breaks in between, and these should be used for studying, not just for your actual course, but other subjects as well, to sort of equip yourself with like an all-round sort of knowledge about history, about computers, about maths, about whatever it is, designing and artistic skills. This is the perfect opportunity to build yourself up.
There's different subjects. For example, I study nutrition, right? But in my nutrition classes, I have psychology.
Yeah.
And then I can learn about psychology, and I can learn about other subjects such as stats or immunology, about body, etc. So you can, obviously, as Noor said, you can equip yourself with different subjects and acquire knowledge, even if it's not too much. At least you know some. So yeah, that's the benefit of going uni or seeking knowledge.
Okay, so we've spoken about why we should study and why we should aim high. What's the first thing you'd advise a person in uni?
The first advice would be to associate with yourselves with society such as Islamic society, where you can have friends who can advise you, who can keep you on track. For example, if you're on your own, sometimes you might feel a bit discouraged to keep up with your studies, or sometimes feel down, feel a bit anxious or depressed. But when you have those kind of friends that are always motivated and always keep up with their work and are dedicated, they can motivate you. You can get some of their what's the word? Some of their
the vibe and the inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration from them, and so then you can actually do better.
Yeah, that's true.
So what would you say?
I agree, because having good companionship, especially like you said, like with Islamic societies and stuff like that, it's good to get involved, and it's good to be around those kind of people, because they'll direct you towards good. So if you're with people who aren't actually studying and they're not really bothered about education and they're just there, you're more likely to rub off from them and not make the most of your uni life.
Circle, yeah. Yeah, tell me your circle, right? And I tell you who you are.
Yeah.
So like the kind of people you hang around with, then that's how exactly you're going to be. For example, if there are people who just go uni and study and be focused on their studies, obviously they can have fun as well. They know how to have fun.
Yeah.
But then you're going to be like them. But if you hang around with people who just want to go party, like enjoy their time and go clubbing and whatnot, then that's how you're going to. So even if you don't want to do that, but slowly you'll get influenced towards it.
Just mentioned, that it's such a powerful thing, because every human, social network of influence goes 4 degrees out. And this means that, for example, if you're my friend, right, then my influence upon you is up to 45%. For example, if I'm obese...
Is that scientific?
Yeah, there's actually a study done on this, that if I'm obese and you're my friend, then your chances of being obese increases by 45%.
Oh, yeah, I was doing that in psychology, I remember.
Yeah, subhanAllah. And then your friend, someone who I have no link with, I don't know that person, theirs increases by 25%. And then that friend's friend increases by 10%. And then that friend's friend by 5%. SubhanAllah, goes to show that
it goes in a chain.
Yeah. Even though I may not know those people, I've influenced them through this. So who your social friends are, they make a big difference on you. And
don't ever get fat. Yeah.
You too, bro. So the second thing is to be focused and make most of your university life. Yeah. Because as we mentioned, you will never get these years again. You will never get these few years of your life again. And the Prophet ﷺ said, make the use of 5 before 5. Your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before your preoccupation, and your life before your death. So this is when we're young and we're healthy, and this is when we have our most time and we have the energy. So we should be focusing on equipping ourselves with knowledge, and we shouldn't just be seeking knowledge and studying because we think this is what's going to get us a job, but rather that it matters. Like, knowledge matters. What you equip yourself with, what's inside of you, how how you can articulate yourself and how you can speak and how you can debate, and all of these things are very, very powerful tools. And these are the things that we should be learning while we're at uni. And we have so many resources while we're at uni. We don't have many responsibilities, and we have teachers, we have other students that we can benefit from.
Exactly, and the environment. For example, my uni, right? They spent 35 million on a new library.
Wow.
And they got all the equipment you need. Basically, there's places like literally people work there for like 24 hours. There, anytime you go there, there'll be someone in there working. So at least you get inspired.
Exactly.
Like if there's no one that you can think that, oh, like I'm on my own, like no one is working at this time. If you go there, you'll find someone who's working, so who's going through the struggle to finish their work. So like maybe you get inspired by them. So to work.
That's true. I don't know if you've come across this yet. On YouTube, there's this like phenomena now where people record themselves studying, and there's like it's 2 hours, 3 hours long, right? And people, they're doing they just play music in the background, and they got headphones in, and they're just studying. What you see is like they're just studying. They don't do anything else, and it gets like millions of hits on YouTube. But it just goes to show, like you were saying, right? When you have someone else studying and someone else doing these things, it encourages you to do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's really interesting, subhanAllah. What would you say in terms of setting goals and specializing, or?
The first thing I would say is, for example, when you start, like for example, say your first year, you start uni, the first thing is to go through all your modules, check the deadlines, and write each module, and in front of you write the deadlines and how many percent is what. So you already know when it's due in. So that's you can start working, and then finish on time, rather than just leaving it and then you're not sure which assignment or which exam is on which day. Then you will get confused, and so make sure you write them down, plan ahead, and that's how you're going to be up to date.
That's a very good point, yeah. And I would say to specialize in one of the modules, it's better to it's better to perfect one thing rather than being jack of all trades, because jack of all trades in the end you end up with specializing with nothing. So it's better to know one subject really like inside out than to know loads of things and not really know it properly. When I used to do martial arts back in the day, when I was younger, my teacher used to always say, I could teach you 1,000 different kicks, but the one who masters one, is more dangerous. The one who
that's very true, man.
Knows a bit of 1,000 different kicks.
It goes same with the boxing and with MMA.
Yeah. For
example, Khabib, Sorry, talking about MMA now. But Khabib, for example, he's very good at wrestling.
Yeah.
For example, if he takes you down, he's the king of floor.
Takedowns.
Then no way that you can get up. For example, he's got a fight in December against Barboza. Barboza is very good with kicks.
Yeah.
So if Khabib stands against him, Khabib has got no chance. If Khabib takes Barboza down, then Barboza has no chance. So that's like it just goes to say, like, if you specialize in something, then that's what you're known with, and then no one can what do you call it, what's the word? Outdo you with what you specialized in.
Exactly.
Unless there's someone who has specialized more than
there's
you.
more specialized in Yeah, but we're not saying don't learn about other things. In fact, we're actually encouraging you to in this period of time to read loads of good books and do loads of different activities and build up your skill sets and do extra curriculum activities after school, after university, and all of these kind of things. But we're saying do specialize in something within your within the subject that you're studying in uni, because that's what actually is gonna make you stand out from the crowd. If you specialize, if you can articulate yourself and you're really good at something, then there's nothing that can really overcome you, because the power and the influence that you have through knowledge is something profound, subhanAllah. And this is something that we even get with the Quran, right? When the Quran came, it was such a masterpiece. It was there was no literature like it. There was no poem, any literature that could compete with the Quran, right? It was at the top, subhanAllah. And the Quran challenges people to produce something like it, and they can't. And this goes to show when you're specialized in something, or when you have something that's so amazing, so powerful, it can change the whole world. And right now, subhanAllah, Islam is probably the most practiced religion in the whole world, and it has changed everything in society. And every single thing that we see around us, well, majority of the things that we see around us right now are influenced somehow through Islam.
Even just to mention, you see the science where it is today. If it wasn't for Islam, it wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because there was a golden age of Islam where science, like basically, it was as golden age as well.
Yeah.
There was scholars, there was scientists working to, for example, look at the camera. It was invented by a Muslim scholar.
Yeah.
Like how it works, how the eye works, and how whatnot works, and even they say the gravity came from the Muslims and whatnot. So there's
not gravity itself, but like the
no, I mean yeah, like the idea of how it works. And stuff.
Yeah. It wasn't just Islamic sciences for them. It was also like secular sciences, like knowing about the world and history. And
one thing I've noticed, they changed the name slightly. For example, Ibn Sina, it wasn't I don't know if it was Arab or not, but like they changed his name slightly to more like European name or like English name, so that you can't recognize them.
Do you know what his name now? How they say it, or?
I don't know, but I forgot. Like I've read it somewhere before. Like you can't, if you read it, it's slightly changed. You can't really recognize if it's an Arab name or like English name.
SubhanAllah. What would you say about living in or out of home during university?
I think that would depend on the individual, upon their condition and where they're located, how far or close they're to uni. For example, some people, there are different reasons for why you move to uni or like you don't move to uni. For example, I live half an hour away from a uni, and there's no reason for me to move out. Like if I lived in halls at uni, I would spend more money. I would end up spending more money and not be able to save much. And I would be in halls mostly on my own, because if you go to your room, then you're on your own. You're kind of isolated. Even though obviously you have friends to talk to, but most of the time you'll be isolated. I'd rather live with my family and have their company around me than to live in uni and I don't know, spend more time. More money, waste more money. I don't know. I think it'd be.
I completely agree with that, bro. Because when you're at home, you have most of your things done at home by your family or yourself even. You don't have to worry about the extra stuff.
And just wanted to add that some people, they say, I'm going to move out to uni so I can be independent. You can be independent at home as well. For example, you got a room, and at uni you get a room as well. So if you clean your room at your house, you're gonna more likely to clean your room in the house as well. So like you can be independent. You can go shopping even if you live in at home. Go shopping, do stuff that you think that would make you independent. Then I don't know, like to just move out to uni so you can be independent. So I think that's an excuse.
I agree. I think one other thing as well is that when you're at home, as we know Islamically, we should be there to serve our parents, right? If you are at home, then you're able to help out your family. You know what's going on in your family. You know what's going on. If your parents need you, you're there to support them. You don't have to travel back from uni or whatever. You're always there basically to help your parents out as well. And I think that's something that as Muslims we should be striving to do. If you are at uni, then I would say always make time every single day to call your parents and to call your family to make sure everything's okay, to check up on them and visit them, and plan regular visits to your family.
And just to add, some people they because they want some subject for you to study them, you have to travel far. You have to move out from your place. For example, there's 2-3 hours drive. It would be a waste of time for you to travel every day. That would take you 6 hours if it's too far. Say if you move to Birmingham from London, then obviously you have to move to Birmingham. Or if the vice versa, if you move from Birmingham to here, then you move here. But the thing is, how you live in the campus. You should decide very carefully. For example, as we mentioned before, you can join societies, Islamic societies. You can have your good friends around you who are gonna keep you motivated, keep you on track, and inspire you to do good rather than being on your own. Even studies shows if you spend most of the time on your own alone, then you're likely to get more depressed compared to if you have friends to talk to or family to talk to.
Yeah, it's very true, subhanAllah. And something that leads me on from that is that while we're at uni, we should be trying to develop Islamic independence. What I mean by that is that although we encourage that you have a good group of friends at all times, whether you're in uni or outside of uni, to be around good, practicing Muslims who aid you and encourage you to do good and avoid you doing bad, then I say you build an Islamic independence where you don't rely on them to do the good.
Yeah, that's a good,
so when you leave uni, you're not reliant upon those people like, oh, I need them to encourage me to do good and to pray or to do this and that. You're not relying upon them. So it's good to have those people who encourage you, but they're only there as a boost. You have to sort of develop that internal system and discipline where you're going to pray and you're going to do what you need to do, whether they're there or not. So when you finish uni, then you're not in need of them.
Exactly. That was the case with the most prophets. For example, Ibrahim was kicked out by his parent, by his dad. And he was on his own. Like, look at the Prophet ﷺ, he was kicked out by his people from his hometown. And even Yusuf ﷺ, he went to prison, he was on his own.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
So all of them, they kind of spied themselves. They relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah says, whoever relies on me, I'm sufficient for them. So obviously be independent, but at the same time being completely independent on yourself, that's not good enough either. To just say I don't need anyone, I do what I do and I keep myself to myself. That's not good enough either.
I think this is a good point you mentioned, because a lot of people have this mentality nowadays that I want to be independent. It's all about being independent, right? But in reality, that's not how the human nature works. We're interdependent, meaning that we have to communicate with others and we have to depend on others from time to time. But the point is that you develop the independence in yourself, but then you know how to be interdependent as well. So that this is why, like in many workplaces or in uni, they do a lot of group work, because you have to learn how to be interdependent.
When it comes to free mixing at uni, I would say be approachable, especially when it comes to uni work. You might end up working in a lab with people, or like presentations. Just make sure that you know how to work and how to talk to people, and have good intentions. For example, if someone approaches you asking for help them with good intentions. Have clean intentions. Other than that, just don't waste your time going around talking to him, talking to her, like just a waste of time.
Find a balance. Don't just be a person who's like everything goes. Oh, I'm at uni, I have to do this. Like you don't have to. Be balanced, inshallah. And if you need to work with the others, then do it. But know your limits, inshallah, and be approachable, because at the end of the day, every single thing you do as a Muslim, it's picked up on, and you're given da'wah indirect, whether it's indirect da'wah or direct da'wah, it's still you're still a representative of Islam. So keep that in mind, inshallah. And
have good attitude when it comes to talking to, for example, opposite gender. Your attitude makes a big difference. For example, especially if you're a Muslim talking to non-Muslim Muslims. If you show them your good attitude, then from that they can define what kind of person you are. If you show bad attitude, bad behavior, and the way you talk to them, then that's not gonna show any good. You basically don't. You kind of misrepresent Islam. So just make sure
it's true.
Have good attitude towards others.
And also have the right intention, that you're gonna study and you're gonna try to do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you want to credit the ummah with something. You want to leave something behind. You don't want to just waste your uni life. So make the intention that it's for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the betterment of society. And you want to be able to contribute and tackle problems of society in the future, inshallah. And you need knowledge. And it reminds me of one of the stories of a companion called Zayd ibn Thabit. And he was really good when it came to his literacy skills. And so the Prophet ﷺ asked Zayd to learn Hebrew and Syriac, so that he could then write letters to other states of different lands, inviting them to Islam. And this was because of the knowledge and the skills that he had. He developed these skills, and he became very prominent. And whenever new ayat, whenever new revelation, wahi was coming down to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ is being narrated by multiple companions that he used to ask for Zayd to come. He used to say, "Where's Zayd?" Ask him to come with a board and an ink pot, so that he could write the new verses that are coming down. SubhanAllah. So look at the status he was given. That he would be writing letters for the Prophet ﷺ, and he would be translating between different languages to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was also the one writing down the ayat as they were coming down from the lips of the Prophet ﷺ. SubhanAllah. So look at the status that he was given just because of the education that he had. Yeah. And he was the one, in fact, that he then compiled the whole Quran because he had everything written down. SubhanAllah.
And that shows one more thing, the importance of languages. Yeah. If you know more languages, you're blessed. Yeah.
So I think we've covered everything, inshallah. But at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys a statement of Malcolm X, rahimahullah, and he said something really profound about education. So have a watch after this, inshallah. I think it really applies to us, and I think we should really be thinking about this, and have a watch after this video, inshallah. Do you have anything else to say?
No, just take your studies seriously, you know, like you only got 3 years, a degree is 3 years, so like, it's gonna go really fast, man. This is my third year, I don't know how I started, and I'm almost done, I'm almost finished. Yeah. And so it goes really fast. Just make sure you make the most of it. And then apart from your actual studies, you can join other stuff, clubs, for example, there's sports clubs, as I said, Islamic societies, different societies you can join, and make the most of it, man. And make good friends, good company that you can have, talk to even after uni. You know, that's all I've got to say.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm getting too hot.